Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is going to be another movie review, not a classic movie review. I'm actually putting that series on hold for a little bit. I'm going to talk about why. Basically, I haven't done a movie review in a while, and I don't want to be behind on that, so I want to be able to review classic movie reviews and movie reviews. So, for I'd say just this weekend, I'm taking a little break from it. They'll come back next week, but this is going to be for a movie, and this movie I'm going to be reviewing, I did not want to see this movie. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I really did not want to see this movie, for quite a few reasons. But that movie is The Cobbler. I really was not looking forward to this movie, and, I did have some hope for it, because as we know, Adam Sandler has been having a very bad track record lately. He has been having a terrible, terrible track record. I can think the only good movie that I think has gotten, really good reviews is Hotel Transylvania. Now, that's not good, and I heard about this movie, and I'm like, okay, maybe Adam Sandler's going to do something different. Watched the trailer, it looked like absolute shit, and I thought I was going to absolutely hate this movie. I'm happy to report that The Cobbler is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I enjoyed this movie. I didn't think it was that good, but it definitely was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I thought that was good that wasn't as bad. It does have a lot of problems that I'm definitely going to talk about. And one twist that really annoyed me, but let's get to the plot of The Cobbler, which honestly is really interesting. I think the plot from the surface is really interesting, because we have this man, Max Simkin, who he's a cobbler. He basically works at this cobbler in the shop, and his work neighbor is Jimmy, who operates the barbershop next door, and they have a nice friendship and everything. And you can see that his neighbor really wants him to get some sort of direction in his life, because Max doesn't really seem to have some direction in his life, and he starts to talk to this woman, Carmen, who basically tells Max to, to come in, that she's working with the community of the Lower East Side to prevent big-time developers, and they start, possibly having a relationship, and he's trying to find some direction in his life. He still lives with his mother. He really does not have a very good life. He's not really happy in his life, and one day, while working in the shoe shop, he finds out that there's this guy, Leon Ludlow, who is this local thug who basically he comes into the shop and he realizes that he actually wears the same size shoe that Max does. He tries on the shoes and realizes that when he tries on these shoes, he actually becomes these different people. So he starts to use that to basically become these other people, and that's basically the plot of The Cobbler. Now, there are a lot of problems with that plot. That plot overall seemed really interesting. I was interested in seeing what they were actually going to do with that in the movie. And I have to say that, I will definitely talk about my problems in the movie. First, let me say something. The first 15 minutes of this movie, I was really enjoying it. I was like, wow, this is actually a really good movie. I really do feel bad for him, honestly. I felt bad for his character, that they did a good job here. And I have to say that, as far as the acting goes, Adam Sandler is definitely not the problem here. In fact, I think this was probably one of Adam Sandler's best performances. I think better performances in a while, that is. Not one of the best performances, but better performances. He definitely toned down the whole, crazy stuff. He definitely is trying to go for a lot more subdued, which I like seeing. I think he definitely is choosing very good roles. But just like Men, Women, and Children, you don't really care as much about his character than you should. It's not as bad as Men, Women, and Children. Men, Women, and Children I absolutely hated. You guys know how much I hate that movie. And I thought he was good in that. Here, I thought he was actually a little bit better. My only problem with his character is that I don't feel we saw enough of his character, because when we see, his character in the movie, his scenes feel very wholesome and real, and he's just trying to find some, direction in his life. You really do care about his character, and I thought they did a good job with getting us to care for his character. I thought that was good overall. But my problem is that when they focus on, other things, he wasn't exactly funny as well. I didn't think that was good. And I did care about his character, I have to say. I thought his character was good. Dan Stevens, I thought, was also really good in the movie. He was actually the only other person that Max, portrayed, pretended to be, that actually I thought worked really well. He actually had some really funny stuff. There's a great scene where he's imitating James Bond. I thought that it was really funny. Dan Stevens has really been doing some great stuff. He definitely has a career ahead of him. Dustin Hoffman was really good. He plays Max's deceased father. Well, we think deceased. I'll get to something about that. There's actually something I want to say with his character that's actually really big. And then there's Steve Buscemi, who is really good. My problem with this movie, though, is that any time that Max turned into the characters and put on the shoes and was either, Ludlow or any of them. By the way, I don't give two shits about half the plots in this movie. Now I'm going to talk about that. My real problem in this movie, everyone was really good in the movie. Everyone was really fun, was really good. I want to talk about also Melanie Diaz as Carmen. I thought she was great in the movie. Honestly, my favorite parts of the movie is their little relationship. It's very cute. You definitely see that she really cares about him, and I actually really enjoyed seeing that. I wasn't sure how they were going to do that, but I'm like, you know what? I really like seeing that. I thought they did a really good job with that. My problem with this movie is mainly the directing by Thomas McCarthy. And here's the problem. Wrong direction with your movie, definitely. Because any scene that he is in someone else's shoes, literally in someone else's shoes, it feels completely forced and like a completely different movie. When we see, uh, when we see Max in his true form, it's a lot more, wholesome and kind of sad, actually. But then they tried to make it funny, and it really did not work. I didn't think the tones worked in this movie, and also the emotion really was not there, because after he put on the shoes, I completely lost interest in this movie. I mean, he's doing these really stupid things, and I really couldn't figure out why he was doing this. Like, there's really no reason why he's doing this, except that, oh, I can put on shoes, whoopee, it's interesting. There really was no reason why he was doing this. That really was a huge problem for me. So I'm like, can you at least tell me why he's doing these things? Because I cared about his character. After that, I didn't really care as much. I didn't. And I was hoping to see scenes where he didn't put on the shoes. Because any scene where he's, in his true form are really, really good. But the scenes where he's, playing a character in shoes, they just don't really work. And I didn't think that they worked really well. Also, knowing that this is Adam Sandler, it didn't really feel like the same person. And I know that that was, the point. But he is in these shoes, and he is still himself. But he's, in someone else's body. So why can't you have him, act like himself a little bit? I thought the only one that worked with that I said was Dan Stevens. All the other ones, like when he was that cross-dresser and when he was Ludlow and everything, they just did not work for me. I didn't care about half the plots in this movie. I don't understand why there were so many of them. Honestly, it should have just been Dan Stevens' character, because we actually don't see enough of him. That's my problem with this movie, is that we don't actually see enough of, the personality of, what was his name? Emiliano. He was really funny, I have to say. That, I thought, worked really well. We just don't see enough of him, and it really killed the movie for me. Like, oh, I want to see more of him, but we really didn't. The writing here is actually really good. I think the writing was actually really wholesome. I really enjoyed it. I thought there was definitely some stuff that really wasn't funny. It's not really funny, definitely. The movie is not funny, and I thought the writing was pretty solid overall. I didn't actually have a problem with the writing, especially scenes where we see, Max talking to Carmen. I thought those scenes were really good. I thought any scene where we saw, someone coming up to Max and his real human self, I thought was really well done as well. Also, I think the marketing for this movie was really bad, because we actually don't see a lot of him in other people's bodies, which I thought was really good that we didn't spend too much time on that. The cinematography is good, editing's good, the movie really flew by. The other problem with this movie is the score. Oh my god. The score is fucking terrible of this movie. Seriously, I could not stand the score. I'm like, why is this the score? It's this cartoonish music that, like, plays throughout the whole movie in scenes that you're supposed to feel genuine emotion about, and it doesn't work whatsoever. It doesn't fit with the rest of the movie, and I understand it's weird. It's a weird movie. The movie would not be as weird if we didn't have as many characters. Definitely would not be as weird. And I really cared about this movie till they introduced one twist. I'm just like, okay, I'm done. This is stupid. I have to say that the score just really made me dislike this movie a lot more than I did. I mean, I'm like, can we please get rid of this score? I was really annoyed by it, and anytime it would come on, I was like, I don't want to hear this score. And the thing is, there's no, like, other songs in this movie besides that score, and that really pissed me off they did that. I didn't like the score at all, and I didn't think it was good. And again, this is not Adam Sandler's fault, because he had nothing to do with this movie. He had nothing to do with the making of it. He just chose this role, and, let's get to spoilers, because I really do want to talk about the twist in this movie, which I thought was really stupid overall. So, of course, we find out, Jimmy offers Max a pickle and milk and helps him with that and everything. And we find out that he has actually been Abraham the entire time, and that Abraham is no longer dead, and he was actually alive the whole time. when they revealed that twist, I wanted to feel something, but I didn't feel anything, and I know why, because it was horribly done. Honestly, there was no point where you think that into the movie, and plus, they didn't talk about his father enough. We only saw him in one scene that I thought worked well overall, but it just didn't really work. I'm like, really? That's the big twist here? That's how you end the movie? And when he was talking about the cobbler and everything, the only reason they did that was to connect the first scene to the rest of this movie. That is the only reason they made this twist. And I felt like the movie should have ended with him asking out Carmen. That's how the movie should have ended, because that gives him some direction in his life. That's what Jimmy wanted him to have, was some direction. Then when we found out that Jimmy was in, like, some other was still alive but gone, I thought it was really stupid. And when Abraham's telling Max, the story, I thought it was really far-fetched, honestly. It just seemed really didn't fit with the rest of the movie, because the rest of the movie felt realistic and even wholesome, and this really didn't feel that way at all. It really took away from my liking the movie. I thought that was definitely something I didn't like about the movie also. But as I said, there are way too many storylines in this movie that I just didn't give two shits about. I didn't care about the Thug storyline. I didn't care about I really didn't care about his mother. I didn't. I didn't think it was an interesting storyline because we didn't spend enough time on it. I didn't care about any of the other personalities that he portrays in the movie. I didn't care about any of them. And that's really my biggest issue here, is that this is a very convoluted movie, and it's just way too short as well. The movie's way too short. It feels very rushed. It feels extremely rushed, honestly. So many scenes feel extremely rushed, and that's my other thing in this movie, is that it just felt way too rushed for me to actually care about anything. And I will say, this isn't a terrible movie by any means. I was expecting to rant on it, and I really can't rant on this movie. And again, Adam Sandler, I think, is doing a good job. I want to stress that out. Adam Sandler's doing a good job picking these kind of roles. He just needs to pick a role that he can stay, have more to do in, because it wasn't anything that really stood out to me. It wasn't like, oh my god, Adam Sandler's amazing in this movie. I just thought he was good because he actually did a good job, and he wasn't doing gross out humor the whole time. It's not Jack and Jill, okay? I'm gonna say that. This movie is not to the extent of Jack and Jill. This movie is totally different, and I definitely really enjoyed that. It has a lot of problems, but I did enjoy The Cobbler. I didn't think it was a terrible movie. I didn't think it sucked. I thought some stuff was really stupid, but I thought overall it was a good watch. I enjoyed it. I would probably recommend it, but it's nothing amazing. It was not as good as I wanted it to be. I felt like it could have been a lot better than it was, and I was a little bit disappointed. I wasn't really disappointed. I was disappointed because the first 15 minutes were so good, and I thought the movie would be just as good as the first 15 minutes, but then when it was, after the movie just got really stupid, I'm like, I'm done with this movie. And overall, if I had to grade this movie, I probably would give it a 3 out of 5, or, actually no, like 3.2 out of 5, or a C. That's really what I give the movie. It's very mediocre. It's nothing I'd ever watch again. It's something that I'll probably forget that I watched in a couple of weeks, and, yeah, so that's basically it for this review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As I said, I am taking a little break from classic movies. It's not gonna be that long of a break. I'm gonna bring it back probably next week. Don't worry about that, guys. I just need to watch more movies from this year, this weekend, so I can catch up on that. Also, I'm seeing a movie in theaters today. You guys probably know what it is. I mean, do I really even need to say? You guys probably know what it is. Also, I know that there's an issue with my movie preview. I know. That is not my fault. Again, it's Kate. I don't know what the hell happened. Somehow the video was 14 minutes long and only went down to 10 minutes. If you guys want to see the full video, go to that video. I put the link in the description for the full video, for the full movie preview. You guys can see it there. And, yeah. But that's basically it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys saw of this movie if you have seen it. That's it for my review. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for another movie review. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.